What's up, everyone? We're going to be going to the best WNBA player props on PrizePicks today. Now, I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group, and as you guys see, we actually got 20 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. So we're on a huge hot streak, but if you want to get 20 picks right like me, win more bets, and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon, which will be linked down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure you join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $1,500 just yesterday, and another member who won $400 for the 5th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description, so go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group, and I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. So quick shout out to Michael Garcia T9V, who said, as always, great analytics, thank you for your time and efforts. And also shouts out to Tizzle Baby 24Q7N, who also said great player. So shouts out to them, and if you do want to win a shout out in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below on this video and like it, and you can be in the running to win a shout out in the next one. Alright, so let's get straight into the first pick. And when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first pick we're going to talk about is none other than Jackie Young for 5.5 assists, and this one is for less. Now, when we look at Jackie Young, we actually have seen her go in the under in 1 out of the last 5 games. Now, looking at these 5 games, we do know that September 5th faced off against Minnesota, actually had 5 assists there. Then September 8th faced off against Chicago Sky, had 9 assists. Then September 10th faced off against Chicago Sky again, had 7 assists, 12 assists against Los Angeles Sparks. And then on September 12th faced off, actually against Los Angeles Sparks, as we mentioned. And then most recently on September 15th faced off against Seattle and had 7 assists there. So it is pretty interesting to see. Obviously, looking at Jackie Young and also her last 5, we have seen her go in the under in 1 out of the last 5, but her average over the last 5 is also 8. So it is pretty interesting to see. Obviously, coming into this game, we do also know when it comes to Jackie Young, she does have herself a very good matchup against none other than actually Seattle Storm. And as we do know that this is actually playoff time. So, some of these teams have actually already played their first playoff game, but the Aces do face off against Seattle Storm in round 1. Now, Las Vegas Aces are currently up 1-0 in the series. Now, when we look at both these teams and where they actually did both rank, we did know during the regular season, Aces actually ranked 2nd in the WNBA and also 2nd in the Western Conference. So they actually did a fantastic job. They were able to pull it together, more near the end of the season, and now find themselves in a pretty good position there. Now, when we actually look at Jackie Young and also the Aces, they had a record of 30-14 during the regular season, 68.2% win percentage. They were also 17-5 from home, 13-9 from away, and finished off with a 16-game win streak. Yes, you heard that right. 16 games. It was honestly insane to see. The Aces were definitely playing fantastic there. Now, they do now face off against none other than Seattle Storm. Now, Seattle Storm find themselves in a little bit of a different position because they currently rank 7th in the WNBA. Not only that, they rank 7th in the WNBA, but they actually also rank 4th in the Western Conference. They actually had a record that put them in a 23-win, 21-loss position, 52.3% win percentage. They are 10-12 from home, 13-9 from away, and also currently are on a 1-game win streak. So it was pretty interesting to see. Obviously, looking at Jackie Young, we definitely have seen her, do a pretty good job lately, but we do like the under for this one. Now, looking at Seattle Storm, we do know Seattle Storm, when it comes to assists allowed, we actually see that they rank 5th. So they rank pretty well there. But what we also do see when it comes to this is that we also do know when it comes to Jackie Young, we do like the under, as we do see that Seattle Storm actually do a fantastic job at restricting, assists to the guard position. So you are definitely expecting the under for this situation here. Obviously, coming into this game, a big reason why we do also like the under is that looking at someone like Jackie Young, we definitely have seen as well that, playing for this Aces team, we are expecting Seattle Storm to put a lot of defensive pressure on her. Now, obviously, Seattle and their matchup against the Aces in their most recent game, Jackie Young did go on the over. Now, I do always say there will be times where things like that happen, but coming into this next one, we should see a little bit of a different story there. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for the actual, under for this situation here. So Jackie Young, 5.5 assists for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about none other than Aliyah Boston. So Aliyah Boston, great player as we all know, and this one is a fantastic one for rebounds, for 8.5 rebounds, and this one actually is for less. Now looking at Aliyah Boston, we actually have seen her go on the under in 3 out of the last 5 games. Now looking at those 5 games, we do know September 3rd faced off against Phoenix Mercury, had 8 rebounds there. Then after that actually faced off against none other than actually on September 6th against Chicago Sky, had 4 rebounds, 11 rebounds against Washington Mystics on September 8th, then 8 rebounds against Minnesota on September 10, and then 12 rebounds against Atlanta Dream on September 15th. So it is pretty interesting to see. Obviously looking at someone, like, Aliyah Boston, we definitely have seen her going the under quite consistently, but coming into this next matchup, we definitely do very much like the matchup, as we do know when it comes to Aliyah Boston, she does face off against, or Indiana face off against Atlanta Dream. Now it is definitely going to be an exciting game there, but looking at this matchup, we do also see when it comes to Aliyah Boston, a big reason why we do like the under for this situation is that when we actually look at someone like Aliyah for Indiana and Atlanta, the matchup here, we do know Indiana do find themselves actually down in this series. This is obviously the playoffs, so like I mentioned, Atlanta are up 1 game. But looking at where both these teams did rank during the regular season, we did see that Indiana Fever found themselves in the 6th spot in the WNBA. Not only did they find themselves in the 6th spot in the WNBA, but they also ranked 3rd in the actual Eastern Conference. Now they actually had a record of 24 wins and 20 losses as a 54.5% win percentage, and on top of that, they did actually face off against none other than actually Atlanta, as we mentioned, who are in the same conference. But Indiana Fever also had a record of 13-9 at home, 11-11 from away, and were currently on a 3-game win streak to finish off the season. And Atlanta Dream actually ranked 3rd in the WNBA, but also had the number 1 spot in the Eastern Conference. Now they had 30 wins, 14 losses. That's a 68.2% win percentage. Also 60-6 from home, 14-8 from away, and finished off the season with a 6-game win streak. So it definitely was interesting to see there. Now, obviously, coming into this matchup, we do also know that looking at someone like actually Aliyah Boston, we do know that they actually had themselves a pretty good matchup against both these, like in a sense that both these teams are a good matchup against each other. But looking at Atlanta Dream, we do know when it comes to rebounds allowed that they do rank number 1. So they actually are a fantastic team at actually restricting, rebounds, and that's a big reason why we do very much like the under for this situation here. Obviously, looking at this matchup, we have definitely seen when it comes to Aliyah Boston, we did see her in the most recent game, or in game 1 against Atlanta, she did go in the over. As I've always mentioned, first games of playoff series are usually an interesting one because we tend to see, some unpredictable things happen as it is their first matchup against each other. Both teams are trying out different things, different strategies, and it can definitely have a huge effect there. But coming into this next one, we do very much like the under for this situation for someone like Aliyah Boston. And coming into this one, a big reason for that is that when you actually look at someone like Aliyah Boston, not only has she gone on the under quite consistently, but we are expecting Atlanta Dream to also make adjustments coming into this next game, and for sure about it. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for someone like Aliyah Boston coming into this game. When we look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have them favored for the under as well, so that works out in our favor there. So for that reason, Aliyah Boston, 8.5 rebounds for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about none other than actually Gabby Williams. So Gabby Williams, great player. Now, obviously, guys, there are only 2 games in the playoffs for today. So some of the picks do have some overlap in the sense of being from the same game. But this one is actually for 10.5 points for Gabby Williams, and this one actually is for less. Now, looking at Gabby Williams, we actually have seen her go in the under in 3 out of the last 5 games. Now, this one is an interesting one because we do see on August 31st, faced off against Chicago, had 12 points there. September 2, faced off against Los Angeles Sparks, had 8 points. September 6th, faced off against New York Liberty, had 7 points. And then 2 points against Golden State Valkyries on September 10 and 16 points against the Aces on September 15. So obviously it is pretty interesting to see looking at someone like Gabby Williams who has gone on the under quite consistently. We have already talked about this matchup before, but just to remind you all again, obviously, we do know that Seattle Storm face off against the Las Vegas Aces. Now, this is definitely going to be an exciting matchup for sure. But just to remind you all again, when it comes to this playoff series so far, we actually do see that Aces are up 1-0 in the series. And on top of that, we also do know when it comes to, Gabby Williams and Seattle, we do know Seattle Storm do find themselves in the 7th spot in the WNBA, 4th spot in the Western Conference, but actually have a record of 23 wins, 21 losses, but also 6-4 over the last 10 games. Now they face off against the Aces, and Aces do find themselves in the actual number 2 spot in the WNBA, but also 2nd in the Western Conference. They have a record of 30 wins and 14 losses. That's a pretty 68.2% win percentage, and also went 10-0 over the last 10. So they do have a bit of a hot streak there. But looking at the team like Las Vegas Aces, they did actually find themselves in the 7th spot when it came to points allowed. However, that is throughout the whole season. Like I mentioned, Aces finished off with a 16-game win streak, and we actually did see them do a fantastic job when it actually came to restricting points, rebounds, and assists in the later half in the season. When we look at the last 15 games, we actually did see Aces came up the ranking and actually ranked 2nd when it came to points allowed. So although overall they did throughout the whole season rank 7th, when you actually look on a more recent scale and where Aces are at in this form, we actually have seen them do a fantastic job at restricting points, and we definitely see that affecting or coming into this matchup where Gabby Williams, we do like the under for it. As I mentioned before, there will be times where players beat their lines, and although Gabby Williams did go on the over in the game 1, we are expecting Aces to make some adjustments and have her go on the under in this one. So Gabby Williams, 10.5 points for less, I think is a fantastic pick.